We're in open session, Your Honor.
Thank you.
On what day did you eventually return to your own house at location 2?
I remember it was on Friday. It was on Friday because I had a...
Okay, wait.
Just the date
Yes.
will do for now. If it was Friday, I think it will be generally agreed that this was the 4th of January. Did you meet, please answer just yes or no, did you meet anyone at your own place at location 2 when you arrived there?
No.
Did you go there alone or with anyone else?
I went alone.
And what was the condition of your home when you went there at location 2?
It was completely burned down.
And I only ask for a description at the moment. Can you describe the kind of home you had?
Yes.
1 second. Defense counsel, would you have difficulty with prosecutor leading on the description of the home?
On our side, no, Your Honor.
I've no objection.
Mr. Moffat, just put the description you want to the witness so that he can say yes or no.
I'm grateful, Mr. President, and to my learned friends. Well, did you actually have a plot of land and a 5-bedroomed house on that plot of land? Did you or did you not?
I had.
I'm sorry, if he's going to lead it, I'd hope he'd lead it in terms of the statement I've got, where it's described as 5-roomed and not 5-bedroomed.
Did you have a 5-roomed house on this plot of land?
Yes, sir.
And what was the size of the plot of land itself? Do you know?
The size?
Yes, the size.
Yes. Just 1 acre.
And was there any other building on this 1 acre of land that you had?
Only my 5-house room, and there was a fence where I had fence where my cow used to feed.
What was the condition of your fence, or the fence to your property, when you arrived at your home in location 2?
Everything was destroyed. Everything was totally destroyed.
And when you say destroyed, do you know if it was burnt or simply demolished?
when I went there on Friday, it was burned, and it didn't get fire all part of the houses, maybe 4 houses, but I could pick one or two things which were made of metal. They burned, but they just picked one or two.
Are you saying that there were only a few remnants from the fence of the house?
I mean, where the fence is, all things were destroyed. So after they had burned my house, everything did not burn. There were those things which were made of metal, and I was able to pick one or two things.
Where was your cow?
It was not there. It was nothing.
Did you eventually find your cow?
No.
Did you lose anything else in your property that was burned? What possessions did you have?
All what I had invested in that land, I didn't save anything when I repaired it.
But can you give the courts just an idea of the kind of things, if anything, that was contained in your 5-roomed house?
Yes. One of the house I had intended to open a shop the following year. So I was preparing to. There were 2 or 3 things I had stocked in preparation of opening this shop. I had also in my workplace, I had a machine, which I was prepared to start to open a welding business machine in that area. So I was on this process of applying for electric.
You said you were in the process of applying for electric. What does that mean?
I mean, there were electric cables passing near my home, and my plot had not. My plot had no electricity, so I was on a process to electrify my plot.
And just help us, are you saying that the welding business machine was in your house when it was burned? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it was in my house.
And then you said there were some things you had stored in preparation of opening a shop. Where were these things?
They were in my house.
And what are these things?
There were few people. There was a bundle of maize flour, bundle of wheat flour, salt. These common things that we used to that are sold in a shop, but I guess it was around 10,000 shillings. I had spent 10,000 shillings for them. Kenya money.
And this is just for the transcript. You said, but up at a gaze, it was noted and the transcript doesn't pick up what you said afterwards. So I'm going to ask you to, unfortunately, to repeat your answer.
Okay.
You don't need to repeat what you said up to things that are sold in a shop. Just the rest of your answer. Do you understand?
Prosecutor, can you lead him to what you think is missing that he needs to supply answer to on the transcript?
Well, Your Honours, I didn't make out what was said myself, I have to confess.
All right. If this was an unanticipated answer, you have to decide whether this is something you factored in your case and whether we should spend time exploring it or whether you want to move on. At some point, you also have to ask questions about what he was trying to tell us. What is the relevance of him being in the process of electrifying his house? Looks like the question is banked on that, and we're moving on.
Can you give an estimate of everything in money terms of the loss to your house and the property as a result of it being burned?
Yes, I can estimate it to be around 600,000 shillings, which I had invested in that plot.
And I take it you mean Kenyan shillings?
Yes.
Were you able to continue the business that you intended to go into after your property had been burned?
No.
And where did you live after the 4th of January when you went to see, when you discovered that your house had been burnt down?
I went to location 5. That's where I went to live.
And for how long did you remain at location 5, or are you still there?
No, I stayed at location 5 until August of that year, so on 2008, so when I left there.
And persons 6, 7, and 8, where did they stay from the 4th of January until August 2008?
I was living at location 5.
Did you eventually find out who had burned down your property at location 2?
Yes, I found out.
And please look at the list if you need to refer to it. Did you find out a name of the person who had been involved in the burning of your property?
Yes, was number 1, number 2, number 4. Number 4 is it is I. K-I. It's not K-A. Number 4, person number 4.
And were you able to rebuild your property after it was burned down in January, during the violence in December, January 2007?
No, life became very difficult, and even up to now, I've been unable to rebuild the house. Life became very difficult.
And when you were giving us the numbers of the persons involved in burning down your property, you gave us the numbers. Do you know the ethnicity, the ethnic groups that these persons belonged to? Firstly, number 1, what ethnic group?
It's a Kalenjin.
And number 2, what ethnic group?
Also Kalenjin.
And number 4, what ethnic group?
It's a Kalenjin. I said number 1, number 3, and number 4.
In that case, number 3, what ethnic group?
A Kalenjin.
Your Honor, I just need to go into a private session for 1 or 2 minutes, and that should wrap it up with this witness.
And before we do that, witness, when you said, when the prosecutor asked you the estimate of your loss at your home, you said 600,000 shillings. Is that estimate, does it include both the house, the fence, and contents of the house, or is the estimate only as to contents of the house?
It's an estimate of everything.
You also had said earlier that the assailants appeared to be asking questions to their victims, and if the victims did not give the expected answer, the victims were then attacked and slashed. And you gave evidence that that was the fate of a man whom you said appeared to have been drunk at the time. Apart from that drunken man, did you observe the assailants ask anybody questions?
I didn't get your question correctly.
Okay. You saw the assailants ask a certain man who, to you, appeared to have been drunk at the time.
Yes.
And resulting from the exchange between the assailants and the drunken man, you said that the assailants attacked the man and slashed him with pangas.
Yes.
All right. What I want to know is whether you saw those assailants or the attackers, not the same, attackers in general, did you see them asking anybody else questions? And after asking them questions, either letting them go or also slashing them as they did the drunken man. Did you see that happen to anybody else? Asking them questions?
Yes, there were other people whom they could ask, and if they reply the way they wanted, they could leave him. They could not attack him.
Did you observe that yourself?
Yes.
So I take it then you saw them let some people go after those people had answered their questions?
Yes, they joined them.
Did you also see them attack someone like they attacked the drunken man after asking the person a question?
Apart from the drunken person,
Yes.
the others had run away. So the people had run away that they are hiding in plots because this area is very congested with the houses. So the roads were clearly, even me where I was hiding in a plot.
Do I take it then that the only person whom you saw being attacked after the assailants had asked them questions was only the drunken man?
Yes, he was the drunken man.
You did not see anybody else attacked after being asked questions?
No, they had ran away. There was nobody in that area. So,
Thank you.
no.
Prosecutor, do you have any questions arising from the ones I've just asked?
No, Your Honor.
All right. We will then go into the private session as requested by the prosecutor.